One day, you will meet the person you could have become. And trust me, they will ask you just one question. Why didn't you try when you had the time? That is the cost of being lazy. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is secretly planning your success. And one day, the parents will grow old, time will run out, and you will realize you were never tired. You were just lazy. The problem is not your life. The problem is you. Laziness is not your body being tired, it's your mind being weak. It is when you know exactly what needs to be done and you still refuse to do it. Not because you cannot, but because you don't want to face the effort. Because you would rather escape than act. Laziness is not an external condition, it's an internal decision. A decision to avoid responsibility of your own life. It is avoidance in its ugliest form. You avoid the work that can change you, you avoid the discipline that can build you, you avoid the actions that can separate you from being the average. And instead, you distract yourself. You distract yourself, you delay, you scroll, you tell yourself lies like later tomorrow. Every time you decide not to act, you break your own trust. You prove to yourself that your words mean nothing. You say you want success, but your actions vote for failure. You say you want respect, but your habits create weakness. And slowly, your mind stops taking you seriously. You become someone who talks but never does, someone who drinks but never moves. You are choosing to remain small because growth requires pain, growth requires effort, growth requires showing up even when you don't feel like it. But laziness chooses the easier path, and easier path always leads to an average life, a mediocre life. Not because you were incapable, but because you are unwilling. And the most dangerous part of this is laziness feels normal. The first cost of laziness is your potential. Not your talent, not your intelligence, your potential. Because potential only exists when it is used, otherwise, it rots. Laziness doesn't make you fail, it makes you never try seriously enough. And there's nothing more dangerous than a person who could have been extraordinary but chose to remain ordinary. Not because life stopped them, but because they stopped themselves. Your potential dies in your daily excuses. Confidence is not built by thinking, it is built by doing. Every time you tell yourself that you will do something and then you don't, you damage your own foundation. You teach your brain that your words have no value, that it cannot be trusted. Slowly, you stop believing in yourself, not because others doubted you, but because you gave yourself proof that you are unreliable. Laziness turns yourself into a person that cannot depend on their own mind. Laziness traps you in an average life. Not the life you dream about, but the life you settle for. You start accepting less. Less growth, less success, less respect. You begin convincing yourself that this is enough. This is fine. But deep down, you know the truth. You know you were capable of more. And that knowledge becomes your quiet frustration. You're not satisfied, but you're also not trying, so you're stuck between desire and disappointment. Now, this is where laziness hits like a hammer. This is painful because life will not pause for you. Others will move ahead. People with less knowledge, less intelligence, less talent, less advantage, they will build discipline, they will show up, they will grow, and you will watch. You will watch them live the life you once imagined for. Not because they were chosen, but because they chose effort when you were choosing ease. And trust me, nothing hurts more than watching someone become what you once refused to work for. This is the heaviest cost. Regret. Because laziness always feels harmless in the present, but in the future, it becomes unbearable. One day, you will look back in your life and you will realize how much time you have wasted, how many opportunities you have ignored, how many versions of yourself you abandoned. You will not be angry at the world, you will be angry at yourself because deep down, you know you had time, you had the ability, you just didn't have discipline. And regret is a debt that cannot be repaid. Right now, my semester exams are going, and between each exam, I had preparation gaps of almost 1 week. I always believed that I was not someone who binge watched, not someone who scrolled mindlessly, because normally I keep myself busy. I tell myself clearly that Monday to Friday you have to go to college, after coming back you will write script and edit videos, then on Saturday and Sunday you will shoot. I function well when I am time bound. When I have deadlines, I show up with intensity. I show up seriously. But these 1 week gaps, they created an illusion that I have a lot of time, and that illusion destroyed my discipline. I started telling myself that's okay. Let me watch this drama. Let me watch that movie. I still have time. And that I still have time slowly became 15 days or more than 15 days of a wasted life. Not rest, wasted. During that time, I had syllabus to revise, I had scripts to write, I had videos to shoot, I had books to read, I had everything I once prayed for. Time. And I wasted it lying in bed in a dark room with a packet of chips in my hand, binge watching shows that had nothing to my life, and still managing to scroll for 7 to 8 hours a day. My room was looking like a dump yard, and so was my mind. There was so much laziness in me that for almost 10 days I did not even put bedsheet on my bed. This is how far I've fallen into this trap. Not because I was incapable, but because I was careless, I was lazy. Then one day I decided that today, no matter what happens, I will clean my room. And I did. It took me until evening. After that, I edited a video and posted it. Then I sat down to study until 1 a.m. Then until 3 a.m. I was applying for internships. And the next day I woke up at 8 a.m. Not forced, but frustrated. Because this time I earned my sleep. Finally, I earned my morning. That day I understood that when you choose laziness, everything around you start collapsing. Your room collapses, your focus collapses, your confidence collapses. But when you choose action, even small simple action, everything around you starts supporting you. Your energy changes, your environment changes, your mindset changes. It's like spillover effect where one correct decision builds momentum, one disciplined action creates another, and suddenly you start becoming a person you respect again. Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest that your laziness will not going to disappear just because you watch some sort of motivation video or this particular video. It will disappear when you stop negotiating with yourself, when you will implement those 4-step solutions that I'm going to give now. The first step is simple but uncomfortable. Stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie that your mind creates to delay effort. The people who change their lives are not the ones who feel ready, who wait to feel ready. They are the ones who act while feeling the resistance. They start when their mind says no because they had cracked the code that action creates motivation. Action builds motivation and not the other way around. The second step is to rebuild self trust. Right now, the real damage laziness has done is not to your schedule, but is to your identity. You do not trust yourself anymore, and trust is not rebuilt by big promises. It is rebuilt by small completed action. Decide one task and complete it, even if it is small. In fact, especially if it is small, because every completed task sends a signal to your brain that your words still have some value. The third step is to control your environment. Laziness resides in disorder, in distraction, in messy environment, in easy access to escape. When your room is messy, your mind stays messy. When your phone is always near you, your discipline stays weak. You cannot expect a strong mind while living in a weak environment. So just change your environment, change your surroundings, and your behavior will follow. Because discipline is easier in places that does not constantly invite distractions. And the fourth step is to stop giving yourself unlimited time, because unlimited time creates unlimited delay. Deadline creates urgency, and urgency creates action. So when you tell yourself that I will do it anytime, your brain hears I will never do it. Give yourself a fixed time, and when the time arrives, just start doing that work. No thinking, no debating, just start doing that work. And finally, understand this clearly. You do not become disciplined by winning once. You become disciplined when you refuse to go back. Because laziness is not a one time mistake, it's a pattern. And discipline is not a one time decision, it's an identity. Every day, you will get two options: either return to comfort or build someone you respect. The solution is not complicated, but it is unforgiving. You either act or you stay the same.